So we'll get started. Roll call. We are missing member Bill Unger this evening. Otherwise, everyone else is present. Does anyone have any disclosure of interest? Okay, moving on. Adoption of the minutes from December 14th. Has everyone had an opportunity to go through and look and see if there's anything outstanding, missing, needs correcting? I think everything looked okay from my perspective. Okay. So Bobby, do we want a resolution for that, please?
That the Aylmer Police Services Board adopts the December 14th, 2021 minutes as written.
Okay, can I get a mover? Pete, seconder, Jack, and all in favor? And that is carried. Thank you. Moving on, delegations, there are none. And we will move into unfinished business.
Pardon me, Chair.
Yes.
If we could just do the confirmation of agenda as well.
Oh, I didn't do that.
Thank you.
Sorry. Yeah. Confirmation agenda. Is everyone satisfied with that? Any additions, exclusions? No? Bobby, do you have a resolution for that, please?
That the Aylmer Police Services Board approves the January 11th, 2022 agenda as presented.
Okay. Any questions, concerns? Okay,
So
mover.
moved. So moved.
Okay.
Second.
Second, all in favor? And that is carried. Thank you. Thanks for that, Bobby. Sorry. All right. So I missed 3. We did adoption, delegations. Let's move into item 6, unfinished business, police service board policies, nothing at this time. We can move on to new business. And first item is election for board chair. Bobby, do you have a resolution for this?
Yes, the board will open the floor for nominations of the chair to the Aylmer Police Services Board. Are there any nominations to put forth?
I'll nominate Sherry.
And do we have a seconder for that motion?
I'll second that.
Chuck, thank you. Sherry, are you allowing your name to stand?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
And do we have any other further nominations for board chair? The floor calls a third and final time for nominations of the position of chair. Seeing none. Sherry, would you accept the position of board chair?
Yes, I will.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Therefore, the resolution reads, moved by Pete Barber and seconded by Jack Cookett, that the Aylmer Police Services Board appoint Sherry Andrews as the chair of the Aylmer Police Services Board for 2022. Are all members in favor? So carried.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations, Sherry. Stunning
Thank
victory.
Yeah, I just wondered, did you have any experience at all?
Just a little bit.
Right.
I will try to do my, although, you know, the way I've been this meeting, you'd never guess it. So I'll try harder next time. Oh, goodness. All right. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Looking forward to another social year, at least, of in this position. So thank you. All right. So we can move along to election for vice chair. Bobby, do you have a resolution or for this?
Yes, the board will now open the floor to nominations for vice chair of the Aylmer Police Services Board. Are there any nominations to put forth?
Jack here, I would nominate Pete Barber.
Thank you. Pete, will you allow your name to stand?
Yes.
Thank you. Are there any further nominations for vice chair? The floor calls the third and final time for nominations for vice chair of the board. Seeing none, nominations are now closed. Mr. Barber, will you accept the position of vice chair to the board?
I'll humbly accept the nomination.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And so we can move along to C. And congrats, Pete, Barbara, for that. So the next item, review of bylaws for the PSB procedural bylaws. Bobby, do you have a resolution for that?
Yes, I have, through you, Madam Chair, I just sent out the bylaw in the agenda just for board to review. There was no changes at this point made. I didn't know if there was any discussion the board would like to have further to this. If there is nothing, then we can bring it back to the February meeting with the changes of the date and the bylaw numbering, and do the first and second reading at the February meeting.
Okay, were there any comments on that?
No.
Okay. Pete? You're fine
Yes.
as written? Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
sorry.
Yep, no, that's okay. I just want to make sure that we're covered. So Bobby, is there a resolution for that, or you are
I
we're
will just,
bringing that
sorry.
back?
Sorry, through you, Madam Chair, I will just note it for the February meeting to bring back for readings.
Okay,
Thank you.
that sounds good. Thank you. Okay, so moving along to reports, and I can share my screen, and then we can go through these. So just give me just a second. So I'm sharing the right info. Let's see. All right, I think I got it. All right, just let me know when you can see my screen.
Right there.
All right, perfect. Okay, so we will start with the police budget.
Okay, through you, Madam Chair, the December budget report for the year end, total salaries and wages, including benefits, we're at 91% spent. So again, that's 9% below the targeted, or the what was set aside for the 2021 budget. Total administration, materials and supplies totaled 114%. Contracted services, we were almost bang on at 99%. Rents and financial services came out to 68%. Total general fund expenses equaled 93%. Some of the recoveries through Ontario grants, actually we were over what was projected. The projected was 207. We came in with 257,000, or 124%. So again, that's on a positive side, and majority of that came from the Ministry of Community Safety grants at 149, and the projected was 62,000. Ontario grant, you'll see it was budgeted for 145. I just submitted a document for the last quarter for the seconded officer to Ontario Police College, and that's why you see that number at 108. So that still needs to be adjusted once we receive the check from the OPC. So that'll increase the actual recoveries up to around $145,000 in that category. Miscellaneous.
Sorry, am I in the wrong spot here?
No, you got it right.
Okay, all right,
Yep.
all right, good.
User fees and charges, miscellaneous revenues, 335,000 or 335% came from the records checks. Again, I've talked about that previously. We had a good year in the records check recovery department simply because of online availability. And that revenue actually is at 169%. Going down to the overall budget for the tax levy, we were at 90% spent for the end of December, and that represents approximately a $240,000 savings, which will be going into our surplus budget for next year. There is still some outstanding bills and payments that have to be dedicated to 2021 year. But certainly, conservatively speaking, I think we'll be at around 200,000 surplus, if not more. Any questions on that?
Good job, Chief.
Any questions? Yep, just ask. I can't see anyone, so just feel free to ask the questions. Sorry, I cut you off, Pete.
Okay, no problem. Moving on to the Police Services Board budget. Nothing unusual at all in that category. We're at 98% bang on, 2% below target. And again, that's a good news story as well. To come in under budget is good. So I have no issues there. Unless there's any questions, I'll continue on.
Go ahead.
Okay, moving on to the crime statistics for the month of December. Crime Stoppers, 0 reports. Total for the year is 9, one above last year. DVI and high-risk meetings, we did not have one in December. We just finished one in January. So we had a total of 8 for the year. Community events, again, nothing for December. Total of 13 for the year. Foot patrol hours, that number actually should be 473, not 573. I thought I corrected that, but clearly I didn't on this report. And same thing with the number of incidents. That should read 486, not 586. My apologies for that. Again, 473.75 for the total for the year. Park patrols and bike patrols, obviously, nothing to report there. Standard field sobriety training. We sent 2 officers in the month of December for that training, for a total of 2 for the year. And I think there's only 2 more officers that have to take the training, and then every officer will have the field sobriety training completed. Criminal charges, we had 5 adults and 4 youth that were charged in the month of December. Total number for the year, 94 adults and 9 youth, which is considerably more than what we had last year, 79 adults. So some good work being done there with respect to criminal investigations. Nothing in the area of drug investigations for the month of December. 911 calls, we had 14 hangups, total of 200 for the year, which is pretty high. And a total number of assists to the OPP, public, and the ambulance for the year was 24 in December and 307 calls total for the year, slightly lower than last year. Violent crime rates, we had 5 incidents, 3 have been solved for 60% clearance. Total number for the year was 66, 46 solved for a clearance rate of 69.7%. 2 SORs were completed by Erica for the month of December. Property crime, we had 3 posts for the month of December, 14,000 views, 398,000 views for the year, and 87 posts. Clearance rates, total number of property crime in month of December was 15. 5 were cleared, which is really good rate at 33.3%. And actually for the year, we're well above the provincial averages and certainly above last year, almost double the clearance rate from last year, 135 incidents, 39 cleared, 28.9% clearance rate. A lot of that has to do with surveillance cameras that are available to us to be able to view and identify some of these individuals responsible with property crimes. So that's one of the tools that we're utilizing in order to solve some of these property crimes. Youth crime, 2 calls for service, 10 total for the year, and 2 school visits for the year. 5 trouble with youth calls, 29 total. That's significantly less than last year where we had 50. So again, that's a good news story. Less and less youth are becoming involved with the police on the negative side of the house. So that's always a good thing. Situation table meetings. I attended 5, or we had 5 meetings between Erica and I for a total of 51 for the year. And we had 1 situation. Unsolved follow-up calls, 56 for the month and 772 for the year, again exceeding the number from last year. Provincial offenses, we had 128 traffic tickets issued in the month of December, 4 liquor charges and 4 other. In addition to that, officers laid a total of 23 criminal code charges. And total for the year, which this is the highest that we've ever achieved traffic enforcement. We had 1,314 traffic charges, 24 liquor charges, and 229 other charges for the year. And certainly it just reflects the dedication of the officers to traffic enforcement and roadway safety, and also criminal code investigations with a number of 23 for the month of December alone. Ride program, we had 1,472 vehicle stops, 6 Highway Traffic Act warnings, 34 alcohol standard tests were completed by officers on ride checks, and 2 Highway Traffic Act charges were laid. Total number of ride checks for the year is 149 or 141. With 11,727 vehicle stops and 94 traffic warnings. Number of impaired drivers, we had 2 for the month of December, and the total is 25 for the year, relatively consistent with last year where we had 30 of them. So again, good work being done by the officers with respect to the ride checks. We do have some ride grant money available for the remainder of the year, which ends in March. So officers will continue to do some of the pay duty rides in February and until the end of this month. Nothing to report with respect to use of force reports. Prisoners processed, we had 5 males, 3 females, no youths. 2 were held for court and 6 have been released. Total for the year, 73 males, 29 females, 9 youth, 12 court, 99 released. Training, we had 2 in-service training completed for the year, 1 course, and total number of hours was 80. Again, almost double the training hours from last year, 676 last year compared to 1102 this year. Everyone has completed their mandatory in-service training for the year. And we also managed to send 12 officers on courses and 6 seminars in total. Again, from the budget perspective, 90% spent for the year end, and no issues there. Total number of calls for service, we had 202 for the month of December, 5 traffic enforcement, 7 mental health, 5 collisions, 3 domestics, and 7 OPP assist. Lots of good work again being done by the officers with respect to criminal investigations, which are noted at bottom for platoon A and B and C and D. Possession of stolen property, trafficking in stolen property, breach of recognizance, impaired driving, and spousal assault were some of the investigations done by platoon A and B. C&D, same thing, sex assault investigation, impaired driving, domestic assault, criminal harassment, uttering threats, and breach of recog. Administratively, court officer laid 4 criminal charges related to failing to appear in court and for fingerprints, and myself and Nick were involved with completion of the provincial and local grant submissions. They are both now submitted to the province for their review, and we'll await and see what funds will be allocated with respect to those 2 grants. I think we're slated to get approximately $28,000 for the local grant submission. The provincial one is a competitive process, and we are not going to know how much we're going to get there until they review it and look at our submission, look at the needs, how it aligns to our business planning and community safety, and we'll go from there. Any questions on the statistics? Hearing none, going on to the charts. Again, looking at violent crime, we're on par with 2018, 2019. As far as the numbers at 66, compared to last year, where we only had 47. So there's a slight increase in the violent crime against persons, which is never a good thing, but at the same time, we're consistent with the previous years, with the exception of 2020. Property crime, we are significantly down compared to the previous 2 years, and slightly above the 2018 year at 135. Drug possession, nothing unusual there. It's relatively consistent for all 4 years, no issues. Domestic disputes, same thing. We were pretty low last year, and this year we creeped up a little bit to 44 for the year end, which is consistent with 2018 and 2019. Motor vehicle collisions, again, nicely reduced down to 87 collisions for the year, which is on par with last year, and a significant reduction from 2019 and 2018. 9/11, again, it hit us pretty hard this year. We're at 200, which is exactly the same number that we had in 2019, and certainly well above 2018, when well, double almost the 2018 year, and significantly higher than 2020 year. So again, proactive messaging, we'll continue on with that in 2022 to see if we can reduce that number. Foot patrol hours, no issues there, 473 hours. Officers are doing a good job. It's our second highest year out of the 4, so good work being done there as far as visibility and walking the streets, walking the beat. Mental health calls for service, that creeped up on us this year. We're at 43. Again, the highest year out of the 4 that are identified here. We do have the AMSTRT worker that's doing a lot of follow-ups, but in addition to that, part of our local grant funding will be allocated to a dedicated officer to be with the AMSTRT worker 1 day a week to deal with some of these issues and follow-ups, and hopefully we'll see a reduction in 2022. But again, the nice thing about the AMSTRT worker, she is available to do that support services and follow-up calls, which are invaluable when otherwise these people would have to be taken to the hospital for assessments, and again, lots of officer hours dedicated to that if we were to go down that route. So good work being done between by her in Elgin OPP area and also in Aylmer, because we share that resource between us. As far as the meetings, situation table and teleconferences on 3 of them for the month of December. On the 6th of December, I attended the National Day of Violence Recognition for Women. 14th of December, PSP meeting. Budget, I already talked about that. There's no issues. No issues with the crime and operational trends. Local grants, I already talked about that. They have been submitted now and are at the provincial governments on their desks. I did do a report back and sent to the government for the local priorities grant. We're in pretty good shape there as far as number of hours dedicated to the local identified program there. Follow up on COVID issues and communications with the town management is obviously ongoing with the new rules that are in place. And from the other direct operating expenses, no issues there. 204,000 spent compared to 223 last year for a reduction of 18,000. And I did manage to get some vacation in at the end of the month and worked half a month and was off half a month. So that was good. And that is my report, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Any questions?
Madam Chair, it's me. I've lost the video component. I can't get
Oh.
back in. I'm going to sign out and come back in.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you. While we wait for,
Okay, I got it now. Thank you.
You're okay?
Yep.
Great. Okay, were there any questions for the chief on the reports as presented?
Nope. Great report.
Yes, very detailed, great report as usual. Thank you for that.
Welcome.
All right, so we can move on. So, Bobby, do you have a resolution for reports, please?
That the Aylmer Police Services Board adopts report items A to F of the January 11th, 2022 agenda.
Okay, and someone to move.
So moved.
All right,
So-
and second.
So
Thank you.
second.
Thank you. And all those in favor? Aye. Okay, and that is carried. Thank you. So moving on to incoming correspondence. The only thing on our item today is the call for nominations, appointments to the Aylmer sponsor corporation board. So lots of information there to review. And if you go down, obviously there's role description and any information that anyone would like to step up and apply for that. All right, do you have, do we need a resolution for that, Bobby?
Yes, Madam Chair. That
Okay.
the Aylmer Police Services Board adopts correspondence item A of the January 11th, 2022 agenda.
Okay, and a mover for that, please.
So move.
Second.
And all those in favor? Show of hands, aye. All right, any questions on the OAPSB Aylmer's appointment to the sponsor corporation? Okay, seeing none. Did I already, sorry, I lost my spot. We already approved this, or approved the resolution. Yes. Oh. I can't see a show of hands. If anybody can has any questions, please just speak up. Okay, and then so moving on is our outgoing, and this was to the town clerk and its notification of the PSB meeting dates for 2022, and that information has been sent to the board, or that has been sent to the town. So we're good there. Any questions on those dates? Anything conflicting? Any concerns? Good. All right. So we have our closed session. Bobby, do you have a resolution for that?
That the Aylmer Police Services Board does now adjourn to closed session at 6:00 p.m. as subject matter pertains to personnel matter about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees.
Okay, and could I have someone move that, please?
So moved.
Second?
And all those in favor? All right, thank you, that's carried. We will wait for Owen to cut the live stream and then we will